This question asks us to figure out why the author brings up Evans and what kind of writer he is an example of. Because this is a tricky passage, before we get to Evans, it is important to understand the passage as a whole, so let's quickly walk through it. The first paragraph introduces two writers and scholars who have made claims about the role of women in ancient Rome that many critics don't agree with. The beginning of the second paragraph explains problems or weaknesses in these scholars' research. Now let's look at the Evans section, which is in the middle of this paragraph and is highlighted here in the blue box. The author writes that Evans tries to remedy these errors. This means that Evans is trying to solve the problems mentioned earlier in the paragraph that the other scholars faced. His work is a little different from the other researchers mentioned. Now let's look at our answer choices to see which ones we can eliminate. Choices A and B are incorrect because even though his work is different from the other mentioned scholars, his work doesn't oppose or refute them. It is trying to fix some of their errors, so we can mark off these choices. Choices C and E are also incorrect because they are not mentioned in the passage. The author never says whether Evans' sources are unreliable. In fact, the author writes the opposite, that Evans' sources are wider and more reliable. The author also never mentions if he discovered the evidence on his own, so we can mark both of these choices off. So that leaves us with choice D. At first, this answer may seem a little general, so let's review what we know about Evans. He is trying to solve some of the problems that these other scholars faced. This means that even though he doesn't fully disagree with their positions, he doesn't fully support them either, which is why he wants to improve them. This is our best answer. The correct answer is choice D.